Hello guys and welcome to our brand new video. Today I'm here with Classroom of the Elite Season 2 episode number 7 reaction. Alright, so the previous episode. It was a conclusion of the sports festival. I'm not sure if that was an arc. Kind of felt like an arc, a mini arc. The sports festival mini arc, it was the end of that. Now, quite a few things happened. Interestingly, we kind of got to see more of Kushida and her inner feelings. We kind of got to get to know a little bit of a secret why Kushida does not like Horikita. There was not everything was not revealed, but we have a vague understanding as to why she acts like that. They were apparently acquainted in the previous school, and something happened which we still don't know. That was probably why she has that much of a grudge. And what happened the previous episodes was, first of all, Kushida kind of tried to threaten Ayanokoji by saying something like, oh, you're on my list now, you're also going out alongside Horikita-san. And I'm like, yeah, good luck on that. So that was number one. That was one of the most amusing sections, seeing Kushida threaten Ayanokoji and Ayanokoji actually just being like, all right, I guess. That part, because obviously we all know what Ayanokoji can do, and Kushida probably stands no chance in actually expelling Ayanokoji out. So there you go, that was that. Another thing happened which was in the positive direction. Horikita was able to convince Sudo to come back, and she kind of told her story a little bit about the whole her brother and all that stuff. And I loved how Ayanokoji actually put them two against each other, because each had a problem which they were not actually recognizing, and those two problems were similar. So people are not able to actually realize what wrong they are doing, but they can actually point out someone else's wrong. So seeing each other, they realized each other's faults and in turn realized their own faults, which is probably something Ayanokoji wanted to do there. And both of them realized what they were doing wrong and came to a self-realization through observing each other. So there you go. That worked out pretty well. Even though another big thing happened, Ayanokoji versus Manabu, when Ayanokoji and Manabu did the race. Even though Manabu won, I'm pretty sure Ayanokoji could have easily won. So yeah, that. The sports festival concluded with our team winning, but our class being in the almost at the last. But that's fine. Our team won. That was the bigger thing. And in the end, Horikita went to Ryuen to sort all that stuff out. There we got to know about the whole little information about the past of Kushida and Horikita. And Horikita tried to threaten them by recording it. Unfortunately, it did not work, because Ryuen also recorded it. But in the end, we get to see, obviously that was Ayanokoji messaging Ryuen about like a audio clip where he has evidence as to what transpired between him and the kid, the girl who got hurt. And yeah, he was like, all right, we probably have a traitor in class C. For now, yeah, I cannot do anything. Your fortune favored you. And he leaves. And I loved how Kushida just gave them like that weird look and just ran away like that. And yeah, all right, let us begin. Let's see what happens today. This is episode number 7 of Classroom of the Elite season 2. I'll be putting the subtitles on the timer here, sync it to whichever is your preference, and let us get started. Okay, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. To doubt everything or to believe everything are two equally convenient solutions, both dispense with necessity and reflection. Okay, wait, what? Is he graduating? I think so. New student council president. Who is that? I wonder. Oh my god. I don't like this. He looks like a He looks like someone. Oh boy, here we go. Yep, I knew it. This person will probably be a problem. Oh, what's his name? I forgot. Kasuragi, yeah. Well, obviously, we all know. Yeah, in the island, a little bit, yeah. Hmm. Okay. Who the? Yeah, you're going to stab me or something? Like in this show, trust nobody. She can probably just take us somewhere and just stab us. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like she does that and brings like like five of her friends with like with some knives or something, and they like start threatening you. Or maybe this is a ploy of ruin. I don't trust no one in this show. Okay, who is this girl? The in what sense? Have we met this girl before? I don't remember. What is happening? What is this? Some rom com? Yeah. Um, that was random completely. Ah, oh my god, I forgot about that. Oh yeah, that's why I'm like, why is she suddenly like? Okay, makes sense. Yeah, mature and nice. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, what is she doing here? All right, let's see. Um. Okay, it's not subtitle. 52. Oh, nice. Well, for him it's good, you know. Yes, nice. Well, because you have Ayano this time. Real smile. Yeah. Special exam. Oh wow, what is this? Okay. Together. Oh. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, that's the question. Wait, she's part of this class? Oh, I did not know that. Ah, quiz. Oh, that's why. Maybe stronger people will be paired with. Ah, okay. Huh. Any pair? Oh. Expelled directly. Yeah. Okay. Total score. Okay, interesting. You change an average of. Hmm. Okay. Oh my God. Oh no! Stop. Wow. Ah. Oh. Take it from the other class. All right. Yeah. Okay. Don't talk. You are one of the most. Coins is just. Okay. Makes sense. Hmm. 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 Makes sense. Okay. This is interesting. Hmm. Okay. How? Okay. Who's messaging? KK Karizawa. Oh boy. Who's your source? Well, you just saw that. Oh, okay. Huh. That. Yeah. Well, you think Ainako is dumb? Okay. Oh, Nibui, not dumb, sorry, dense. Okay, that's a different thing. Oh. Hey. In comes the E. Currently in this team, I think like most people knows that Kushida is a traitor. Ayanokoji knows, Horikata knows, Kei also kind of knows, I think, somehow. Little or even. Yeah, Ayanokoji told Karizawa, I remember. Only Hirata and Sudo doesn't know. Yeah, wants to talk with him, probably some about something. Oh, the thing about Kushida. Okay, I also need to know this. Like, what even happened that she has this grudge or something? Yeah, okay. He probably knows that. Hmm. One day. What? Breakdown? Yeah. What? How? Information? I don't know. Powerless against. Okay. She can wield something. Wait, why? Oh, I was like, forceful approach. Well, that's true. No, Sudo is important because yeah, because he wants to help. Otherwise, Kushida, I don't know. Maybe, but yeah, but how do you do that? Okay, so basically, the grudge Kushida has over her is because she was part of the other school. She knows her past. That's why. Ah, well, he did say like I'm going to use you. Okay, the subtitles are a bit weird here. Yep, that's true. Yeah, all right. Scenic route towards gratitude. Hmm. I don't know. Is there really a spy here? I really don't know. Same question. Damn. I don't think so. Who? Oh, he wanted to sit there. I was like, what? Manabe. Oh, that girl. Wait, what? She? Oh my god. Wait, is she? But she was the one who was bothering Karizawa. Oh, Ayanokoji came in contact with her. Okay. Oh, the whole thing with Karizawa. Okay. What? Okay. Yeah, he's always there with, you know. Oh boy. Who? Kushida. Oh, well, obviously. Stop that tone. Like the way she talks is so annoying. Oh yeah, that. Okay. Oh, Karizawa's there. Yeah, exactly. People shuffle results in the pyramid. Yeah. Intentionally formed to have. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's true. But yeah, that's obvious. Divide four groups according to the current grades. Okay. People in the lowest block turn in blank taste. Okay, makes sense. But we're just assuming this. Who knows if it's actually. We're. But we're assuming the rules of this whole thing. Okay, yeah, this one. C class? Yeah. Okay. Hmm. But I wonder if some other class will also try to go towards C class. Then there'll be a lottery. Oh, Karizawa's calling. Karizawa, isn't it, KK? Yeah, that's her. Oh boy. Oh. Well, yeah, technically. Kind of. I don't. What? Yeah? Active imagination. Oh. Okay, you know, Ayana is way above this. He's not even thinking of anything like this. In no way possible. Ah, no. Oh yeah. The record of this call. Well, explain the plan to the rest of the class. Hmm. Okay. This is blushing. Psychological premature creatures. Wow. Yeah, that's what he wanted to bring out from not only Horikita but a few other people as well. All according to Keikaku. Okay. All right. This should be interesting. Okay. Why is she so happy? That means she got. Okay. This one is not subtitled. Aina koji kyokita sato maya. Uh. Wow. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Hmm. All right, I the subtitle the video that I was reacting to had a little bit of weird subtitles, so I changed the subtitles. So yeah, I'm back with a better subtitle version, and yeah, I'm going to talk about a few different things. And yeah, it should be you know the dialogue should be better here because the subtitles are better here considerably. All right. So before we okay, so first of all, what happened is in the beginning we see the little the I don't know what those are called. Those like little announcement that the president was giving. Manabu, he talked about how he was like the student council up until now, and like now I'm guessing he's graduating. I think, isn't he? So oh, so it's already time for him to graduate. Interesting. I did not know that it will be that this quickly because yeah, like we barely saw him that much. Like I thought after this we're going to get to know more about him or something, but I guess he's graduating, or maybe not graduating, but he's like probably now he'll have to like focus on the exams and stuff. That's why like he's resigning, and a new person is taking the student council president position, and he thanks everyone. And now I have to say, like, oh boy, like this is so bad. I feel like the way this the academy is going to go towards is not looking good. Manabu was a good student council president, like I'm pretty sure everything he did was like pretty rational, and he did everything like in a good way. Like it was not something crazy that he did or something like totally unexpected. Everything was probably going in a pretty smooth manner because Manabu was doing everything. The new guy who comes up is obviously, as soon as he stands like up on the stage, like red flags has started like going off in my head, and I'm like, yeah, this guy, I don't know. His name is okay. What's his name? Just a second. Nagumo Miyabi, class 2A. Okay. All right, so yeah, the thing that he says obviously is, he says that I'm going to make this more merit based. Students with ability, higher ability, will be at the top, without any abilities will be at the bottom. That's how things should be. And he just, like, kind of says that. And yeah, so okay. Like I said, this guy is giving off like very, what can I say, like, not good, like, vibes, and I feel like he will be a problem in the future. We'll see. And Anukoji was also kind of staring at him. Okay, after that we get to see Katsuragi. Katsuragi kind of, like, thanks Anukoji and says how, they thanks him about the sports festival and all that. And he talks about how Ryuen is not a good cat person, like, which is obvious at this point. And he still, like, kind of tells us and kind of warns us and asks Anukoji to give this information to Horikita, because like, Ryuen's just messing with Horikita all the time. And he says how he is a common enemy, so we should focus on that. Now after that, a girl comes in. Her name is Sato-san, I think. Yeah. And she is like, oh, like, can I say something, like, I want to talk to you. Can you come behind the that place, where everyone confesses. Like, I've seen this in every anime, like, there's, like, every anime they have, like, either, like, on the roof or, like, behind, like, a cherry tree, or behind the, like, like the gym or whatever, like in like a alleyway, like, everyone confesses. She's like, yeah, can we go there? Now here I was a little bit concerned. I was like, oh boy, like, who is this? I didn't even realize she was part of our class. So I was like, who is this random girl who comes up and is, like, just like that? And I'm like, yeah, I don't trust this. Like, this, in this show, like, people can call you, like, and you might think, like, oh, it's a confession, like, lucky me, and then you get stabbed in your, like, stomach, like, the next thing you see. So yeah, I'm like, this is definitely suspicious. What is happening? Now, two things, like, there was the reason why, there was two main reasons why I was so suspicious of her. Number one is I did not realize she's actually part of our class. Number two is I forgot completely that Anukoji, like, I did not forget that Anukoji won the whole, not won, but like, ran that fast against Manapu and actually gave a good competition to him. I remembered that, but I forgot the fact that people might actually start looking up to him after that, and his popularity or reputation might actually increase. I forgot that fact. These are the two main reasons why I was so suspicious of her. I'm like, why is someone suddenly coming and trying to confess to Anukoji? Like, like, it's like, like, what happened that this is happening? Like, up until now, nobody even bothered with Anukoji. So who is this girl? I'm pretty sure that's why I was pretty suspicious of her. I'm like, oh my god, it's like, it's like a trap or something. Like, she's gonna bring us somewhere else, and like 5 other people will come out and we'll see that it's Ryuen's trap or something. I don't know. But yeah, because I forgot the fact that he was the winner and everyone's looking up to him at that point. Not winner, but he actually gave a good competition. So, so yeah, turns out it was nothing to worry about, like, she's not going to stab Anukoji. It's okay. And even if she tried to do that, Anukoji could probably, stop it. But either way, she calls Anukoji in, like, in the back of the thing, and it's so obvious. She's like, oh, like, are you dating someone? And she's like, yeah, like, like, I'm not going to confess to you, but like, maybe in the future we will start with friends. And I'm like, okay, like, this is interesting. And I love how Anukoji is like, okay, she says, like, we can exchange phone numbers. Anukoji is like, that's acceptable, but why me? Oh, that's when she explains that part. Okay, just a second, a little bit before that, where is that part? Okay, she asks him why, like, whether she has, like, someone he's dating or something. Okay, here we go. She's like, I realized how handsome you are and laid back and nice. Oh boy. Well, I don't think he's particularly nice. He's just aloof at everything. and he's just calculative at everything. So yeah, all the other things I agree. Handsome, laid back, I agree. But nice, question mark. Overall he's nice. Okay, I also agree with that. But like, I love how she's like, oh, I never realized before. Like suddenly seeing him like that, she's like realizing everything now. And I don't think she's the only one. I'm pretty sure, like, there are a lot of people like this. Like I said, like, there are a lot of people who probably looks up to him now after this, at that whole incident. A lot of people who is more observant of him, like, who thinks that he's a threat because of that. A lot of people who are probably actually like her, like, kind of started crushing on him or something. Like a lot of people like it's there were three category of people: like people who look up to him after this, people who starts crushing on him, or people who think that he's a threat. So she is, like, from one of those categories. And I'm, like I said, I'm pretty sure these all these people, there's a lot of them. I'm pretty sure there might be some people from some other classes who started crushing on Ayano or who started looking up to Ayano after that. So yeah, that thing. And I never really thought about it, like Ayano is so aloof at everything. So it never crossed my mind that, yeah, there'll be a lot of people who look up to him now after this. Not only look up to him, but his reputation or his popularity is going to increase a lot with this, and people are going to start noticing him. He was all the time, he was at the background. No one really paid more attention to him. But that whole Manabu situation, yeah, it's a pretty big deal, like actually keeping, the same pace as Manabu. Manabu's like one of the best, like everyone respects him. He's good at sports and all that. So yeah. Okay, now okay, while this was happening, obviously Karuza was looking at everything. Now at first I thought she was just like, keeping an eye on them, but then we realized that this was like an actual thing, that those girls talked with each other. That's why Karuzawa knew that this is happening. That's why she was here. Okay, now then we get to the next part, where the results of the midterms. Okay, this part was not subtitled, the video when I was reacting to, but okay, I brought the proper video, a better subtitled video here, and we have all the names actually translated. Let me read this. Chemistry's Rokusuke, Koenji Rokusuke. What in the hell? Koenji is 95? God damn, what in the... Horikita is 93, Hirata 93, Yukimura 90, Kushida 85. Oh, good. Wataru, I don't know who that is. Chiaki. So a lot of characters who we're still not introduced to here. Okay, let me see, where's Ayano Koji. Ayano Koji is 65, as always, average. Okay. Onodera. Okay. Sudo is wait a minute. Sakura 55, Satomaya, Sudo Ken 52. Okay, Onodera, Okitani, Totomura, Yamauchi, Ike, Hondo. Okay. There you go. 52. Good. Obviously, and yeah, no one has actually failed, and there's no problem. And Chabashira Sensei is very happy. She's like, this is the first time after a long time that there's no dropout. And she actually smiles and praises them, and everyone's like, wait, what's happening? Why? Because the first time she said something nice about us. Okay. Now, after that, she comes to the next part of the announcement. The next one is a special exam, which will serve as the finals. Okay, paper shuffle. This is a very interesting, I would say, game or whatever, like a thing where there's quite a few things to this whole, contest or whatever. First of all, the main summary, as far as I was able to understand, is people will be, grouped up. Yeah, there'll be 2 people group, and their their total marks will be calculated all at the... Okay, you know what, let me read this part. I might actually not be able to properly explain. So let me just go step by step. Okay, okay, they're going to pair up. Everyone has one question. Will we be able to choose that? And she said like, oh, we'll get to know that later on. I love how when Sato says like, oh, when are we going to, like, how are we going to choose? And Kariso just looks at her very mad. Okay, the manner in which you pairs will choose and announce next week's mini test. Okay, this mini test is the one that we have to think about now, because that's the preparation phase. The mini test actually makes us pair up and actually find out which pair is going to pair up with which person is going to pair up with which person. Okay, it's purpose to ascertain your academic ability. Yeah, and that's how everyone will be paired up. Now obviously at this point I was pretty sure that they're going to pair up people who are good and who are not good, like at studying. Like if someone's like 90, out of 100 gets 90 out of 100, and there's someone who gets like 30 out of 100, they'll be paired together. And that's how it's going to go. Like the top person will be like, the person who ranks 1 will probably be ranked paired up with the person who ranks 50, if there's 50 students. And that's how it's going to go. 2 will be paired with 49, and like that it's going to go. So I was pretty sure, but there was still a part of me that I was thinking maybe that's the obvious answer that I'm pretty sure everyone will come to the conclusion of. But I don't know, there was a part of me that was thinking maybe the school will actually actually try to trick us by make us thinking that that's what's going to happen, but it was going to be something else. That's why, when Horikita actually explains the plan, I was like, okay, like that's just an assumption. We're just assuming that that's how it's going to go. What will happen if the school has some other plans in the mind, and they try to, they do something so different than we ever even thought about, that it's going to screw us all over. I was thinking about that, but in the end, by the end of it, we do see like, yeah, it worked out pretty like how we thought it was going to work out. So there was no problem. Okay, now she says like how the mini test will be crucial for the actual test, the pair shuffle. Okay, now here's the thing. The pair's total score, if it falls below the bar of 60 points, if on the upcoming special exam the pair's total scores, I was thinking like, okay, is it average or total? No, total, not average. Wait, so that makes this a lot more easier to survive, isn't it? Like, she's saying that if the pair's total scores fall below 60 points, like I'm guessing the test will be of 100 points. So if it was average, I could understand. It would be quite difficult, like if average was 60 points, it would be a lot more difficult. But if total score is 60 points, it's a lot easier, isn't it? Like, for example, one person himself can probably easily get that marks. So wait, yeah, like, if it's 200, the score is 200. If one person gets 90, that's it. The other person can get 0, I feel like. Is it that easy? I think this should be average, not total. Is it? Okay, you know what? Let me hear what she's saying. Maybe there's a translation error here. No, I think she's actually means total marks. I feel like this is too easy, isn't it? Average I could understand, but total marks? But you know what? I don't even know how much, like I'm just assuming that the tests will be of 100 marks. If it's of 50 marks, then maybe that's what's going to happen. I don't know, but if it's 100 marks, since there are 2 people, like both their marks are added up, so 200 marks. I'm pretty sure getting 60 out of 200 is a bit too easy, I feel like. Unless and until the test is extremely difficult, or the marks are actually not 100 marks, but it's actually a 50-mark exam. I don't know. I'm pretty sure the next episode will actually answer my question here, because we'll get to see what happens. But for now, this is one confusion that I'm having. Okay, now There's also a bar for total performance across all subjects. Oh, okay, wait a minute. Yeah, all right, all subjects. I'll provide the precise numbers later, but in a given year, it's around 700 points across a total of 8 subjects. Oh, there you go. That answers my question. Okay, so that, yeah, that changes everything. So yeah, you have to do properly. Like, like you cannot just but still, wait a minute. 8 subjects. In a given year is around 700 points. So 700 points. Let me just assume that out of the 8 subjects, if one character gets like 20 marks in each subject, I'm just taking it in a lower, like, amount. If one person who's very bad at studying gets 20 marks across all the 8 subjects, he's getting 160 marks. So 160, like 700 subtracted, 160 subtracted from 700 brings us to 580, I think. Yeah. So no, sorry, 560. Yeah, 8. Yeah, 8 ones are 8. 8 2. Okay. So 560. So each test average that person needs to get is 70. So if one character gets 70 marks across all subjects, who is good at studying, and if the other person who is bad at studying gets like 20 marks across each subject, then they pass. Yeah, like 160 plus 540, sorry, 540, not 560. 540 and 160. Yeah, 700. So there you go. Kind of like that, I guess. So that also makes it quite easy, because I doubt anyone's going to get 20 marks across 8 subjects. I don't think that's happening. So this also, like, it's a little bit more, like, like you need to study a little bit more at this, but I feel like this is also plenty doable, isn't it? Because obviously there will always be 2 people, one person who is good at studying, one person who is bad at studying, and as we go closer to the middle, both will be average. Like, like the extremes is one person cannot, like, like it gets very less marks and one person gets very high marks. It's fine. The person who gets very high marks can actually help the other person out. And as we go in the middle, as we go towards the middle, all, like, like the middle 2 characters who are getting paired up, they will both be average. So both will be able to get average marks, which means that, yeah, that's also doable. So getting 700 marks across 8 subjects is also quite doable, isn't it? So I don't think this test will be but who knows, like, I'm pretty sure there's some kind of a twist here, which we'll get to know. Okay, so yeah, Anakoji himself says, which suggests a rough average of 44 points per subject is required. There you go. Okay, now the questions for the upcoming test will be crafted by you yourselves. Okay, so this is another thing. This is a part where I feel like everything is going to change. Like, people, all the other different classes are going to ask the questions to the other class. So, like, here, one thing could have been a big problem here is, like, if this was not actually checked by the teachers, but Chawashika Sensei says later on that every test, like question paper will be actually checked by all the teachers, and they will, like, if there's any question which is just crazy, you cannot even answer, like some kind of weird, like, like very difficult high level question, they'll take that out. So yeah, this should be fair, like the questions should be fair. So yeah, I don't think it's much difficult to get this amount of marks, because I don't know, even though all, like, the other classes are going to question us, I don't think it's still that much difficult to get that amount of marks. But maybe I'll be proved wrong. We'll see, because I'm pretty sure there must be some kind of a gimmick in this whole thing, which is going to actually be the main like, point where everything gets like, twisted, but we'll see. Okay, all right, all the questions will be crafted by yourselves. Okay, all the questions crafted by each class will be answered by one of the other 3 classes. Okay, you'll get to choose which class you hope get your questions. If it's a duplicate request, a lottery will decide. There you go. And whichever class scores higher between the 2 classes, interesting, will steal 50 class points from the other. Okay, there you go. So basically that. So our goal is to get better better marks in the other class. So it's not necessarily means that we need to do good. We need to do good, obviously, but at the same time we need to actually make a question paper which will be quite difficult, and we need to actually choose which class to give that question paper to. And like, if that class gets that question paper, like for example, class A, a lot of intelligent people out there, like the overall average skill level of class A is a lot higher than class C, I'm guessing. So if we construct a question paper which is fairly difficult, and we are like, all right, we're going to give this to class C, if some other class actually also says the same thing, thinks the same thing, and tries to give it to class C, the lottery will happen. If we lose the lottery, then we are not getting a chance to give it to class C, but it might actually go to class A or B. So basically, the question paper that we made would have been a lot more difficult to class C, since their skill level is a lot lesser than class A or B. So since now that our test paper is going to class A or class B, our chances of winning gets a lot lower, isn't it? Because like, not only that question paper will be a lot more easily answerable by class A and B because their skill level are higher than class C. Not only that, but also our chances of winning and getting better marks than them also kind of comes down, because their skill levels a lot more higher than our class's skill level. Like, if our class have like people who gets like 50 or 40 marks, and maybe our lower threshold, I'm just assuming that our lower threshold is like 40, and our higher threshold of marks is 19.5. In class A, I'm pretty sure their higher threshold is probably 98, and the lower threshold is probably 60. I'm just assuming, and I think I'm correct at this, assuming this, because otherwise why are they class A? So there you go. That's what I'm saying. Like, our competition gets higher. We tried to give it to class C, but since some other class also tried to do it, a lottery happened, we lost at the lottery. Our chances of giving our question paper to class C is completely taken out. We either give a question paper to class A or B. So that in itself makes it a lot more competitive than it would have been if we were actually against class C. So that's what I'm saying. So that's another thing we have to think about. Like, just in case, like, who we're trying to give the question paper to might not actually go to that class. It might go to someone else if we lose the lottery or something. So there you go. So yeah, that's one thing. Like, that's one interesting thing that I kind of thought about, like, which might actually end up happening by the end, but we'll see about that. Like, for now, no need to get into so much complications. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so now after that, oh yeah, and she says, like, anyone getting lesser than so another, this exam has like 2 layers on it, just like the other, like, sports festival. For like, the first thing is obviously our class, if it gets better marks than the other class, we're going to get a plus class points we're going to get. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if some of our pairs actually get lesser marks than 40, they're going to get expelled, both of them. So basically, even if our class wins, some people might actually get expelled from our class. It doesn't matter. Those two are separate things, I'm guessing. Those two are independent of each other. Our class might win against the other class, But from our class, there might be a few people who gets expelled because they got lesser than 40 marks, or maybe got lesser in the overall subject average or something like that. So okay, this is a very I feel like this is a simple enough the rules to understand is very simple. It has quite straightforward rules, and yeah, okay, I think I understand everything more or less. Okay, this they were noting it down. Let me read the note. Next exam paper shuffle. Pairs determined by the mini test. Pairs combined score bar. Okay. Bar for test score as well. Questions crafted by the students. Generated questions solved by another class. Classes pitted directly against one another. 2 or 3 pairs expelled each year. The system for determining their pairs is the key. Okay. Now, Chabashir Sensei also says, I'll send an email with detailed rules for how to craft a question. So there are some rules, obviously, in how we can craft the questions. And the rest is given, we are given freedom, full freedom for the rest of the stuff. Okay, now Horikita, when Anukuji asks Horikita, what do you think about this? And Horikita's like, yeah, I do understand what is going on here, and I do have a plan. We'll have a strategy meeting, and you tell everyone. And okay, and after that we get to see how Karuizawa is messaging Ayano Koji and asking him about Sato's confession thing, and she says how a lot of girls including her were yeah, okay, a whole bunch of girls including me knew she was going to ask about you today. Okay, all right, so she says that, and Annika is like, oh, that was why you were actually spying on us. And she's like, wow, he got to notice me, didn't he? And okay, one thing. Oh, I was like, what did she do there? I wasn't able to pay much attention when Hirata comes in. She in her phone there was something written. I wasn't able to read it properly. It's written that the selected email has been deleted. So she just deleted the email. Obviously, keep no evidence, that type of thing. So now after that, wait a minute. One thing. Was there also something when they meet Horikita and Hirata and Kei, and Horikita's like, oh, we should do a strategy meeting, we should talk, and Kei was like, what, here? I don't want to do that, let's go to a cafe. So I was wondering if that was also something Ayano Koji told her to say or something, or maybe that was just her own, I don't know, decision. But either way, they decide to go to a cafe. Now, oh boy, Kushida comes in, and here I was kind of thinking, I was like, it's kind of interesting to see how majority of the people in this group actually kind of knows what Kushida is. We have a group of 6 people here. Out of these 6 people, only 2 people doesn't know properly what Kushida's personality is. Obviously one is Sudo and another is Hirata. Now I do have my suspicions on Hirata because I feel like Hirata also probably is suspicious of Kushida, a little bit even, I don't know, or who knows. But either way, Hirata and Sudo, these 2 doesn't know about Kushida. Ayano Koji obviously knows, Horikita knows, Karuizawa also kind of, wait a minute, no, Hirata was also there. You remember that in the episode when the previous episode when Ayano Koji talks about Kushida being a traitor or something, he kind of hinted at them about something like that. So Kei and Hirata both were present. I don't think he actually mentioned Kushida's name there. I don't think he mentioned the name there, but I do know Kei probably realizes that it's Kushida. Hirata probably still doesn't realize this, but Hirata does know there's a traitor in this whole class. So, roughly, you could say that, yeah, Sudo and Hirata are the only one who probably doesn't know actually Kushida's, actual intentions. Obviously, Ayano Koji and Horikita are confirmed about Kushida's actual intention. Karuizawa, however, I feel like she probably kind of knows, or maybe not, I don't know. Because yeah, in the sports festival, I don't think Ayanokoji actually actively mentioned Kushida's name to them. The only person who he actively mentioned Kushida's name to was Horikita. But for Karizawa and Hirata, yeah, he just said that I do know there's a traitor or something like that, he said. But okay, never mind. So yeah, like most of the people here kind of knows what Kushida is. So yeah, that's one thing. And she's like, oh, like, can I join? And it's so annoying the way she talks, you know. She's like, can I join? And oh god. Now obviously Hanakoji and Horikita's like, okay, you go ahead. I have to go back and bring my bag, because she wanted to talk to Hanakoji. Now Horikita actually said that because she wanted to talk to Ayanokoji about Kushida's actual thing, the past thing that happened to them. Wanted to inform Ayanokoji about it, like what is the deal with her and Horikita, that past. So she says, now here I was kind of waiting for one thing. I said this in the previous episode as well, that like I thought like maybe she has a grudge on Horikita, that's why she's doing stuff like this. And I said like, the grudge better be something serious, otherwise yeah, Kushida is like, if the grudge is something very minor and very like normal kind of a thing, then I'll be pissed off and I'll be like, yeah, I don't know why, but I have like a little bit of hope on Kushida up until now, that yeah, maybe there is something going on with her, maybe she's like a victim of circumstances, some other stuff or something, because we've seen characters like this in anime before who are like this, but there's actually like some reason why they're doing it like this, and later on they become better. So I also thought maybe because there's something like that, but in this episode I'm pretty confirmed that yeah, Kushida really is a bad character. There's no sad backstory or whatever, I don't know, I'm still not sure, but I don't think there's anything like that. There's no, she's not a victim of circumstances or something like that. She's basically, I don't know, unless until the whole thing that Horikita talks about, like the whole meltdown that happened, there is a bigger story behind that. We don't know that. So yeah, I'm okay. You know what? I'm still not trying to judge Kushida. I'll keep I'll try to find out if there's really something some kind of a redeemable feature to her by the end, but it's like the chances are very low, I feel like. But I'll still not judge her, because there's a few things that are still left to be revealed about Kushida, because the whole past thing that Horikita tells, the whole meltdown thing, we don't know any kind of backstory on that, so I'm waiting for that. Okay, Horikita says in this to Ayanokoji that they went to the same middle school. They were not in the same class, that's why she never remembered her, but she does remember one thing, which was a pretty big deal. One day as our middle school graduation drew near, an incident occurred that tore one of the classes apart. The rumor spread that the one who started it all was Kushida. Okay, now this part, like I said, we can see there's something happened here, and that was the reason why Kushida has so much grudge on Horikita, because Horikita knows her past and knows the whole rumor. That is why she's trying to get Horikita out of this school, because she's one who has who knows about her past. So basically this is not an actual grudge on Horikita. Horikita never did anything to Kushida, this is just her trying to get Horikita out, because she might probably know something about her past. That's why she doesn't want anyone in this school to know something about her past. Now, like I said, I up until the last moment, I don't try to judge people. So I'm thinking of some kind of some kind of a redeemable thing, some kind of a reason that might redeem Kushida to us. Like, for example, I'm giving out a few examples here which might happen, I don't know, but one of the things that could actually redeem her a little bit is that the whole thing that she said, the whole class meltdown that happened, if that happened because of some kind of a sad backstory of Kushida. For example, one thing I can think of is maybe Kushida was bullied, maybe, in her class, she was like a person who was bullied, and she suddenly one day she probably snapped. She did something which probably made this whole class like go down, and like this meltdown happened. And like obviously after that she completely changed as a person. She completely broke down. And that was the reason why, that she doesn't want anyone else to know in this school about her past. So as soon as she sees Horikita here, she realized Horikita was a person who went to the same middle school. As soon as she thinks that, she feels threatened that she'll be the one who's going to break down her mask, her nice girl persona, and bring it out in the open. That's why she's trying to get her out of the school. This whole thing that I said, this is all just speculation. And if this is something that actually is how it went down, I would say it would redeem her a little bit, a little bit. Obviously what she's doing is not okay. Obviously she's threatening everyone, like, like doing these type of stuff, sabotage and all that stuff. So obviously that's not fine, but still there would be an actual reason why she's doing it. So this is one example. Just like I said, there might be multiple examples like this where it might redeem her a little bit if she actually has a backstory like this, or something like this happened. But if it is something completely different, if she like, if the actual reason why this class meltdown happened is just because she's evil, or she probably did something that, like, I don't know, something just because she thought it was fun, and that's why this happened. And now she's trying to, like, selfishly just get Horikita out because she's the only one who went to the same middle school, then obviously she's not redeemable at all. But yeah, I'm still trying not to judge her, because who knows, like I said, like, most of the anime characters who have a story like her, who always wear a mask, obviously has a sad backstory. So that's why I'm still trying to, like, kind of see how this goes down, and if she actually is that evil that we are making her out to be. Maybe there is some kind of a sad story for her that we don't know currently, and maybe we'll know in the future. So that is the reason. So yeah, I'll still keep hold on my judgment of Kushida, but obviously the things that she's doing now is not okay at all. So Horikita here has an interesting like an interesting conclusion to this. She says that I want to get along with her, which is something I never thought Horikita would say. And I guess that also shows how much she matured in this whole, like, this sports festival. If this was the previous Horikita, she would have probably been like, screw Kushida, I don't care, like something like that. I'm going to directly, like, go against her. She would say something like that. But because she, like, actually got to know how to, like, work with others, and actually understands everyone's assets, and their power and all that, how they can help her out in getting to class A. She actually says here that, yeah, like, what, I will try to find out some way to actually get along with her, because she's a good asset. Ayanokoji also says something like, are you sure, like, she is actually going to sabotage us, like, and she says something like that. And he says, like, isn't it okay to just, like, go against her directly and get her out of this, like, like, kill or be killed. This is that type of a situation. And there are multiple situations in life where you should, like, actually, like, unless and until you want to go down, you should attack the other person. He says that. But like, what's her name, Horikita says, like, no. Okay, you know what, let me read this part. Okay, Horikita says, get Kushida-san expelled, you mean? Ayanokoji says, a strong offense is frequently the most effective defense. Horikita says, you're the one who admonished me for considered cutting Sudokun loose. There you go. Like I said, she matured after that. And Ayanokoji says, Kushida will continue to plague us until you're expelled. And obviously, what Ayanokoji is saying is also true. Like, Sudo was someone who actually was ready to help out. Kushida, however, she's not going to stop unless and until Horikita is expelled out. And I'm pretty sure not only Horikita, but also Ayanokoji as well, because she's also in her list now. He's also in her list now. And But Horikita again, like, looks in the positive direction, and she says like, it was because I wasn't able to confront her, that's why it escalated this much, and I want to actually work with her and like actually make her come to our side, because she's also a very valuable asset. And Koji says, you think you can bring her to our side? And she says, yeah, I'm going to keep talking to her and I will make her understand. Okay. This part, the subtitles were a little bit weird, when I was reacting to it. Yeah, now I can properly read this part. And Ayano is like, all right, like, I'll look, I'll watch from afar. And she's like, yeah. And Horikita also says like, yeah, I know, like, like you are using me. I think she kind of implies that. Here we go. I was annoyed that you took action on the assumption that I'd fail. There you go. But I won't argue given out what things turned out. There you go. As she says, like, like, the fact is that you helped me out. So I do understand that if you were not there, then I wouldn't probably be in this position. There you go. However, if not for you right now, she stops there and she's like, thank you. And Anukoji is like looking at her. Oh boy. Okay. An extremely roundabout way of expression of gratitude, yeah. Well, that's just her, Okay, that was that. Now there was the next part of 1C where what's his name? Ruin starts interrogating everyone, and he's like, oh, like, all these things happening in class C, it should not be a coincidence, like, like this much amount of time it's happening. So he's like, oh, like, I'm going to, like, what is the most powerful thing here? Violence. I'm going to give you a chance, and you need to actually admit if you did something wrong, and if you actually admit, then I'll forgive you. I guess he did forgive. I thought he was just lying, like he would still just hurt them or something. He did hurt, like, that girl Manabe, I think, yeah, but in the end he also did forgive her, I guess. So good, I guess. Like, I thought he was lying here when he said that I'm going to give you a chance, but yeah, I guess. Anyways, so he says like, he goes in front of everyone and like, confronts them. And oh boy, this class is so weird. Like, my god, how can I just get like, I want to see the day when Ruin just falls flat on his face. I'm pretty sure a day will come like that, like Ruin and Kushida, both of them, like they'll just fall flat on their face, and I just want to see their expressions then. But yeah, anyways, he goes and talks to Manabe, and he knows, like, obviously that Manabe is the traitor. Now I was like, wait a minute, she's the traitor? And I was like, wait, how? And then I realized that, oh, like she was taking, like, information from Ayano-koji. And yeah, that was what was happening. So basically, yeah, I guess that is a form of betrayal, because they worked on their own, not telling Ruin what they were doing, and they took information from someone else, not telling Ruin, just because they had the personal grudge with Karuizawa. And not only that, like, Ayano-koji got his hands on the recording, and he probably threatened these girls with that. And like, I'm pretty sure he did not come in front face to face. He did not do that. He probably, like, in an anonymous position, probably mailed them or messaged them that video and said something like, like, oh, if you do something, like, like, try to mess with Karuizawa after this, like, this will go out. And that's how he did it, I'm pretty sure, because she doesn't know who it was. Like, when she was asked, like, who it is, she's like, no, I don't. There was two people there, Yukimura and Ayano-koji. That's what they say. So there you go. That definitely means that Ayano-koji did not show his face to them. Even when he was blackmailing them, he did it in a discreet manner, probably using a disposable SIM or whatever. Probably got it from Chawashira, like bought an extra SIM card or whatever using his points, and did it like that. So yeah, so that was that. So yeah, in a way it's betrayal, because not only did they take action on their own by trying to mess with Karuizawa, they got caught. Not only that, they have like enough video evidence, and to counteract that, like she actually is following what the other person, the blackmailer, is telling them. So in a way, yeah, obviously that's, you could say, betrayal, small form of betrayal. So Ryuan was like, all right, I do know what's happening now, all right, I forgive you. And he's like, okay, let me think, like what is going on. And he says like, I think he kind of is suspicious. Yeah, he's obviously suspicious of Ayanokoji, because all the time whenever Horikita is there, Ayanokoji is always there with her. And he's now thinking like, yeah, something is going on. So he calls Kushida, and I don't know what he told her, but like Kushida's name comes up on his phone, and she's like, oh, it's time to use her, or something like that, he says. So there you go. Now, oh boy, in the class meeting or whatever, the strategy meeting, Kushida, everyone's there. Kushida, what's her name? Karuizawa, and like Hirata, Sudo. Okay, and now they start talking about the paper shuffle. Okay, Horikita brings up the point about the whole mini test and how it's going to be, how it's going to happen. Wait, one thing I don't understand. This part, wait, what the hell happened here? This part, when they were talking about, I was reacting to this part. When Horikita starts talking about the pepper shuffle, we get a scene where Ayanokoji is looking at us, his eyes closed. Behind him, there's Karuizawa, Sudo, and... Wait, so... That is a little bit confusing. How are they over there? Ayanokoji... Isn't Ayanokoji part of the group? You know what? Let me see. Okay, I was able to understand what the hell happened here. So it kind of confused me so much. Ayanokoji went to take coffee. That's what happened. I'm like, what is happening? Ayanokoji is sitting over there. Like, the way the camera angle was showed, I thought he was sitting. He came in with Horikita, and I thought he went to a different seat and sat down there, and behind him, there was the other people, like Karuizawa and all of them were there. And I'm like, what's happening here? At first we see Ayanokoji here sitting on a different table, then he goes back to the other table, like what happened? But then I realized, no, he was not sitting. The camera angle was very weird over there. They were only showing us Ayanokoji's this part, so he was actually there to take coffee. He was not sitting down. He went there and went to go take coffee or something like that. He comes back, and then we later see he has like a cup with probably coffee in it. And that's what he went to do. And he came back, and when coming back, he even asked Sudo like, oh, are you following Sudo? And Sudo's like, yeah, I kind of get it, while Horikita was explaining about the paper shuffle. Okay, that was so confusing. I'm like, what's happening here? But I understand now. All right. Okay, so basically this part of Horikita explains about what is going on. Like, this is one thing that I feel like everyone kind of got to know a little bit, kind of realized how it is going to go, because Horikita says like, it's weird how even though this is happening all the time, Chawashia Sensei said that most of the time there's either one or two groups that gets expelled. So here that number is too low. So basically the little mini test we're going to have is going to take our academic prowess into consideration. The highest person who gets the highest marks will be paired with the person who gets the lowest marks, so as to minimize the amount of expulsions that happens. And that's why there's so less amount of expulsions that's going on, which is something that I'm pretty sure at least I realized that's how they're going to go. So yeah, now the thing that Horikita says after this is we can actually kind of properly twist this rule to make our own pairs. Okay, she says, I believe the highest and the lowest ranking students will be okay. So she says, first we'll divide all the members of class D into 4 blocks based on our current academic standing. Okay, high level, mid-high level, mid-low level, low level. Okay, those in the lowest block will leave the test sheets blank. Okay, but wait, I don't understand one thing here. Like, Oh, I guess the probability. That's why I was going to say, like, yeah, what she's doing is basically what's going to happen either way, shouldn't it? Like, all the high-level people who knows all the questions, they will get high marks. The people who don't know the questions will get low marks. So there's no need for them to actually kind of separate them into high level, mid high level, low level, because either way that is going to end up happening. People who will get high marks will always get high marks. People who get low marks will always get low marks. There's no need to do this, I feel like. But then, as Karuizawa says, this is going to confirm the probability, which I guess, okay, that makes more sense. Like if by any chance someone gets higher marks, but they're actually people who don't know much, like about thing where it might be a fluke and they get higher marks, they'll be screwed completely if they get paired up with someone else of lower level. So yeah, that will be a problem. So to make this foolproof, that is why I guess Orikida decided to make this whole thing. So basically, we all know who is good, who is bad at studies. We're going to group everyone like that. Lower level, the low level group will keep the questions blank, while the high level group will try to answer as much questions as they can and get high marks so that they get paired. Similarly, those in the second lowest blocks will attempt to get only one question right. Okay, that will reduce accidentally disadvantageous pairs. There you go, accidentally, there you go. Okay, yeah. So basically, so that it is foolproof. That is why they did it. So it's like, I don't understand what's happening, but yeah, I'll try to follow. Karuizawa was like, oh, that's good. Like, I never thought you were going to cooperate with us. Okay, now they say, like, who are we going to ask our questions to us, and who will be the target? So Hirata says class A and B are full of students with a high that was what I was saying, like that is the problem. Like, if it ends up being a lottery, our class, our test paper might actually go towards class A and B, which is going to make it a more difficult competition, because they are highly academic students. Because yeah, like they are like, all right, so we're going to try to get class C, but I have my fair share of doubts at that. I feel like either class A or B is somehow going to also try to get their question paper to class C, and then it's going to end up in a lottery. And I don't know, like they seem pretty confident enough that our test paper will go to class C, but I don't think that's how it's going to go, but we'll see. Okay, now after that we see Ayano-koji in his room. What's her name? Karuizawa was calling him. The first thing he says is, I told you to limit our contact. And Karuizawa was like, what the hell, dude, I just called you. Now she's like, oh, talk about Sato-san, what are you going to do, this and that. And she says like I'm asking you because you threatened me and made me do a bunch of stuff. If Sato-san finds out about that, it'll lead to some weird rumors about me. And Ayano-koji is like, okay, I understand what you're saying. You're worried that if I go close to Sato, I'll neglect my promise to protect, which is technically what kind of she's thinking. Obviously not. I'm pretty sure she is just what can I say, she is probably starting to like Ayano-koji. That's pretty obvious from this. I'm pretty sure everyone realizes this, except Ayano-koji probably, I don't know. But she says that no, sorry, Ayano-koji says don't worry about it. I'll keep my duties on my mind. Okay, so then the whole question about whether you're going to accept the confession and that comes up, and she she brings this question to a different direction, and she's like, oh, you're trying to do some stuff with her, aren't you? And she says like, oh, you did it to me as well, you remember? And he's like, but you Ayano-koji is like, but if that's true, then Horikita's always with me. And she's like, no, Horikita's different, she's not that type of a person. And then he's like, fine, like, let me give you the truth. Like, she said, like, let's start with friends. So yeah, I've not accepted any type of confession. Nothing like that is going to happen. And and she's like, oh, I think you want to get paired up with her, don't you? And she's like, no, obviously not. And yeah, all that stuff she says. And in the end, Ayano also says, like, don't worry, like, like, oh, have the Manabe and all of them messed with you after that? And she's like, no, not yet. And he says, like, yeah, don't worry, no matter what happens, I'll keep you safe. And then in the end, she says, like, all right, I'm going to delete the message or whatever, the things, the call record. So now here, one thing, like I said, like, obviously it's pretty obvious here that she's probably trying to like Ayano. Now, there's a big factor that comes into play here. She herself kind of explained how she is like a person who tries to rely on others. Any person who is going to help her out, protect her, is someone who she is because like she herself kind of explained herself as a parasite. You remember in the first episode of this season, she said something like that. And she also said something like, I always need someone to rely on, and like, always to like, kind of hang on to. So Hirata was perfect for that up until now, because Hirata, like, was the most popular person here, and he was going to help her out, like, by the end of it. But then she realized by the middle that Hirata is someone who's in a neutral position. He's not going to actively take Karuizawa's, like, side from that whole, like, episode, the second episode, I think, where Hirata actually rejects Karuizawa. It says, like, okay, like, I might actually help you to talk with them, but I won't be able to do anything more than that. So Karuizawa realizes that, and after that, Ayano comes in, and Ayano is like, okay, I'm going to help you out, and you won't have to deal with any other problems from here onwards. At the beginning, she was obviously scared, but obviously, like, like, she is seeing how no one's messing with her, and this is kind of like, giving her like a sense of relief. And like she said, she wants to rely on someone all the time, and like, like, that is one of the biggest thing that she wants. So her feelings, I feel like, I don't know, it's how much is it actually genuine, like, and how much of it is basically a sense of relief because Ayano is protecting her. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure there's a significant amount of her feelings that is actually because of that reason. Because Ayano is protecting her, she is thinking that this is like actual love, while in reality that's probably not it. That's just a false sense of that feeling. But maybe there is still a small part of her that actually likes him, so I don't know. But yeah, like, this is pretty obvious. Like, as soon as Ayano started working with what's her name, Karuizawa, I realized a day will come when she'll probably start liking him. I realized that, like, that's pretty obvious, but I didn't realize it's going to be this quick. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. She just directly talks with him and just confronts him with the whole Sato situation. I was not expecting that to happen this quick. So okay, but yeah, interesting. Like, we'll see how it goes. But obviously Ayano, I don't know how much he understands what's going on, but he's pretty intelligent. But in these type of situations, I think he can be a little bit, I don't know, like, dense, I would say. But I'm not sure. We'll see if this is also part of his plan, if he realizes that Karuizawa likes him or not. But yeah. Now later on, Horikita explains everything to the class, and everyone agreed to play along. And I like the fact how everyone's actually actively following Horikita now. And like, and the thing that he says here is quite interesting. A Swiss zoologist, Alfred Portman, once said that all humans are born premature. A newborn human can't even walk on its own. Horikita is the same way, but the same underdeveloped nature is an indication of a capacity for infinite potential. What a great line, I have to say. It's so true. Like, everyone's born in a premature way. No one is able to do anything. Like, all the kids that are born, they cannot walk, they cannot talk, they cannot do anything. But from those children, there are a few who actually shines. Albert Einstein and Isaac Newton were also babies when they were born, so that is the biggest indication, and now they're one of the biggest researchers, scientists in the world. They have made they've invented so many theories, so many different things, and they are one of the biggest scientists. But there was a day when they were also unable to talk, unable to walk, and yeah, so that's basically what he's saying. There is even though that's the case, even though children are born premature, there is an indication of capacity. This is an indication of the capacity for infinite potential. Yes, there are a few children who actually reach this position that no one can even think of. Horikita is also the same. She was just there was a few problems with her which she herself needed to realize. She realized that, and now she is going to improve more and more from here onwards, and Ayano is probably going to just support her up until the end. And yeah, so basically, as far as I can understand, up until now, Anakoji's main goal is to make everyone in this class actually what can I say, good. He wants to make this class good, so that later on we are probably able to reach class A and something like that. But I don't know the main reason why he's doing it. Is it really that simple? Does he really want to go to class A? I don't think so. I think there's probably a bigger reason why he's doing all of this, and maybe the bigger reason has some kind of connection to class A, and that's why he's kind of making everyone improve, and he himself is in the background not doing anything, making everyone else improve, and then making this class in itself self-sufficient, and later on, so that it helps us to go to class A. And then maybe there's a bigger goal he has after that, because I don't think his goal is going to class A at all. That's Horikita's goal. I don't think that is his goal. I think his goal is something which is even further beyond class A. To go to that goal, I think we need to go to class A, and that's why he's doing all of this. And obviously, to go to class A, our class needs to be strong. Individual strength means nothing here. Our class needs to be strong. That's why he actually appointed two characters here, Horikita and Sudo, who will be the main pillar of this class. Horikita kind of is able to talk with Sudo now and able to tell him what to do, and that so Sudo will be one of the mini pillars. A few other characters might also be the mini pillars of this class. For example, I feel like I don't know why, but Yukimura, that guy, I feel like he might actually be one of the mini pillars of this class later on. I don't know, but he seems quite intelligent, in a few manners. There was a few things that he kind of caught, which he's quite attentive. I remember in episode 2 or something, he realized that Karuizawa has been harassed. No one realized that. He and Ayanokoji realized that. So that's why I think he might actually become an integral part later on, a mini pillar, just like Sudo is. And Horikita is obviously the biggest pillar in this class. Karuizawa is someone who is not in this, obviously she's also one of the mini pillars here, but she's directly under Ayanokoji's control, while Ayanokoji is basically the master puppeteer over here. So it reminds me of that meme where there's all this marionettes, kind of controlling other marionettes, one on top of each other, that meme. And it's kind of like that, I feel like, where Ayanokoji is on top. Under Ayanokoji's direct control is Karuizawa and Horikita, while under Horikita's control is Sudo and and all the other class members and something like that. So yeah, that's how it's kind of shaping up, this whole thing. So yeah, that is it. And I think he says something like, I should not get involved. Where is that? It's best when I don't have to get involved. Yeah, so up until now, what Horikita is doing is all well and good. So yeah, it's good that I don't have to do anything. Now later on, we get to see the sheet of who will be paired with who. So you know what? Let me read this part. Paper shuffle pairs. Okay, Horikita Suzune with Sudoken 0. Okay, makes sense. Yukimura Teruhiko with Inogashira Kokoro. Who is Inogashira? I don't remember. Koenji with Okitani, Hirata with Yamauchi, Kushida with Ike, Ijuin with Sotomura. Okay, Mori Nene Matsuka Yaki with Hondo Ryotaro. Ayanokoji Kyokata with Sato Maya. There you go. And Onodera Kayano with Sakura Airi. Okay, so he's like, oh wow, like that's great. As soon as he sees the list, and yeah, obviously he realizes what this is going to make. Obviously, Sato will be very happy. Karuzawa will not be happy at all. Obviously we see her apparent disgust on her face after seeing the list, and yeah. There you go. Damn, this discussion became too long. I feel like, oh, I'll try to tone it down from the next episode. So there you go. That was it. And that was my reaction to episode number episode 7 of Classroom of the Elite season 2. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know, and I'll check them out. That is it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Classroom of the Elite. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.